Yeah. I mean, if you look online and things like the Council of Mortgage Lenders, they advise holding around 30 to 35% of the rental income. And if you look at the current yearly rents averaging about like 15,500, remember this is UK averages, I know, then that's about 0.5% of the value of the average house price, UK, remember as well. So, do you know, if you try and work it out that way, then that gives you a good contingency as well. Contingency, sorry. So there are other studies that found that owners spend an average of about 2,800 to maybe 3,000 on homes that are 100 years plus. Now, we have a lot of this in Scotland, in particular in certain areas, houses of a certain age. And then about maybe 1,500s on houses that are a lot less, have a lot less years, and around about 20 years or less. So the average UK house price back, obviously then at 20 years old, was around about 275,000. So there's a bit of a difference there. So there's less cost involved in the newer houses for the upkeep. When you've got an older property, then you do have that need for more maintenance and upkeep.
Very much so. Obviously, your newer builds, everything is going to be newer in them, so you should still have more time out of them, whereas your older properties, they are going to be tired and worn if you've not done upgrades to them. So you are going to have to factor in the type of property that you have into your budget when it comes to possible repairs or upgrades that you are going to have to do.
Yeah, and I think obviously, like we say, from our experience, I think that adopting that 1% rule is probably a reasonable benchmark there or thereabouts to keep yourself safeguarded. But for an outdated or underinsured property, you'll need that bigger safety net. Do you know, if it's an older property and could have a lot more costly repairs, so you're going to have a wee bit more than that in case of some major repairs, or indeed if you've got unpaid rent and things as well, that's or void periods that you need to cover, you've got that to fall back on.
And that's a good point actually as well. Obviously, we've talked on this a lot for the maintenance aspects of it, but even if it comes down to the point where maybe your tenants missed a month rent and you have a mortgage to pay on the property, if you don't have some surplus funds available to pay that mortgage, you could be in a lot of trouble with it. And ultimately that's going to fall on your head as opposed to the tenant initially. So even with that maintenance aspect of it, even from a mortgage perspective, if you have a mortgage on the property, having the funds there could be your saving grace if that tenant gets into some financial difficulty.
Yeah, and having that safeguard and that thing to fall back on, it just gives you a lot more peace of mind as well. Things do happen, and if you find yourself in that position where there's an expensive repair, or you're going to have to cover costs in a void period or a default period or something for a short period of time, it could spoil the whole experience, because it could put stress on you, it could put stress on the whole. But really, if you've got that fallback and you've planned for and stress tested your investment so that you can budget for occurrences like that, it makes it all a lot more easier to deal with, less stress and a lot more of an enjoyable experience, rather than you feel like you're firefighting.